question is, how is the code actually built? Who's articulating the need set, and how is that need set getting articulated? Especially as we have now a distributed ledger, we have so many ways of keeping track of so many workers working in so many different places.
It's not going to come from a paternalistic view of the worker, like have a focus group or interview them or survey them or something. And it's also not going to come from any one institution. And like you're saying, we don't already have the infrastructure. So it actually is a combination of all three, which they feed into each other. And that's why I think it's important to have organizations that, well, new institutions that we need built, things like public banking shift what's possible for addressing the problems that Socket's talking about and the problems that my members are facing and so many other things within the solidarity economy. But to have the leaders who can help make that happen is another step, because a bunch of people who understand public banking or are reading about it on Twitter, that's not actually going to get us to building out that infrastructure to be able to finance our own things. And when we talk about the infrastructure of having non-extractive finance, something like a public banking institution is only one cog in that. It requires a whole other sense of who's doing the underwriting, who understands like non-collateral loans and things like peer technical assistance, so that your investment in a project or a firm is not contingent on, well, if you default, then I'm going to seize your assets or liquidate it or sell it. But actually, how do we make sure that this works? And how do I just serve this project with support and advice and guidance and lawyers or whatever is needed there? So it does require that we actually shift this framework, because there's no one institution that can sort of pioneer that work. It does need to be an ecosystem, which is a lot of the language that we use, to lean into the institutions we currently have, and especially ones, and this is part of what we're doing in our corner of the solidarity economy, that combine leadership, development, and a site of leaders who you can turn to for advice or guidance around some of this work, and who can be the voice of a group without it being this patronizing thing, but they're actually representatives of a broader constituency that are already organized. So having that leadership embedded in an institution.